Well, at least my bike's cleaner. Well, it's raining. And it's cold too. It was not a good day to ride. I don't have rain pants either. I'm gonna get so wet. It's cold. It's like, I think it's like 50 degrees and it's raining. It could be sunny. I'd appreciate that right now. Get rid of the rain. Just try not to hydroplane or anything either. Oh crap, I can feel it kind of going down the back of my neck a little bit. And down to my ass. I think this is probably like the second time I've been caught in the rain. And this rain is a little bit heavier than the last time I was caught in it. Actually, no, that's not true. The first time I was caught in the rain was actually when I was, I took the 3-day course to get my license to ride my motorcycle. I can't see anything right now because my visor's getting all fogged up. It was like my first time riding, or no, not my first time riding. I actually rode on a permit that I got in the year previous, but I couldn't get into the course then. Oh, my ass is getting so wet. So I got into the course. I was in it for a few days, and the second day ended up raining pretty much the whole day. And the course wasn't flat or anything like that. So I'm riding through this course that has these like puddles in it. And the puddles were awesome because we had to make some pretty sharp turns here and there. I mean, sharp for a beginner. And so we had to make these turns. And what I was doing and having a blast doing was my shoes were waterproof. My pants obviously weren't. And so I ended up just taking the turns really sharp, scraping the pegs against the ground, and catching my foot right inside the different puddles and making like this tidal wave go up my leg. And it was warm out though when the rain was falling, so it really wasn't bad, but it was more humorous to me. So that's the first time I actually rode out in the rain. Granted, it wasn't roads or anything like that. It was just a course and lower speeds and stuff like that. But still, that was my first time doing it. And like I said before, I had actually ridden a little bit. I had my permit and... Whoa, what was that, bud? You just pulled right out in front of that Beamer. I had my permit and I rode around for, I think it was like 30 days or something on that. And got a feel for what it was like to ride, you know? And get used to it. I wanted to make sure I'd be a little bit ahead of the game. in terms of being able to ride, you know, I wanted to be a little bit more comfortable. I know I'm like stuttering and not really being able to stay on topic. I'm kind of focused a little bit on the road because I'm noticing a lot of these little white spots along it, and usually there's like oil or something that comes out of the pavement, you know, towards the beginning of the season, and I hear it's really slick, and I've never had to experience it, but you know, I'm being wary of that. If you're ever looking to ride, if you don't ride currently, I completely would recommend taking the course. Yes, you can go take the written and the driving course, but and after getting your permit, you can do that. But I think it's really good to be on a controlled area where if you mess up, it's not like a catastrophic thing. And I think it just really makes sense to do that, and I recommend it to anybody who wants to ride. For me, it was about 150 bucks. I don't know if it's gone up or anything, but it was about 150 bucks, and it was completely worth it. Even though I already felt comfortable riding, I felt like I was able to ride a lot better than many people in the class, and a lot of them had actually never ridden before. Only one person dumped their bike, and you don't have to pay for it if you dump the bike either, so that's not a big deal, which is, you know, it's nicer to not have to destroy your own stuff. So this one lady, she dumped her bike, and if it had been at any other time, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but she dumped it during the test at the very end. On the third day, the last thing everybody was doing before going home was taking the driving test. And if you dump your bike during that test, you automatically fail. Well, technically they say something like you get 24 points off of your final or something like that, but I think the test is only like 24 points. I don't know, it's some number, but it's that full number that you actually lose. It wasn't a fun time for her, I'm sure. And she left pretty quickly. I feel really bad for her. She left quickly, and I'm assuming that's because she was embarrassed and or scared, and I don't blame her. I haven't really dumped anything that badly, and when she dumped it, she was actually riding and doing the emergency stop, you know, portion of it, which is basically you accelerate up to a certain speed and then you try and stop as quick as you can, and depending on how long it takes you to stop, you get more points taken off. So she dumped it, and what she ended up doing was locking up the front brake, and she high-sided. The bike really wasn't that damaged. I think it was just some like the mirror, and I think one of the levers was bent a little bit, so it wasn't severe. But that's why they give you 250s, cheapo 250s, because that way they can be dumped and just fixed up, and it doesn't matter if they're scratched or any of that. She went before me, and I gotta say, that's where I got points taken off, was emergency stopping, because after I saw her dump, it kind of, you know, made me go like, huh, well, maybe I should tone it back a little bit. So I got some points taken off of that. I'm taking turns so slow, I know. And I gotta say, I'm still a fairly new rider. This is my second year riding, if you don't count when I was riding my first bike during my month that I had my permit. I bought this bike last year, midway through the season. This year I'm gonna probably put quite a few miles on it. Every time I shift down or use the brake, I feel my feet go squish because my shoes are filled with water. There's a lot of water. Every time I breathe, my windshield gets fogged up. It's supposedly anti-fog, but it's kind of. I mean, it goes away pretty quick. And on that note, I'll see you in the next one. I got wet.